Good evening, everybody. Sorry I had to let that play twice. I had to run out and grab a drink. I didn't realize I didn't have anything in my little fridge in here. So, I was running, and I shouldn't have been running after dinner like that. That was kind of funny. So how is everybody? Welcome to the channel. If you have never been here before, hello and welcome. We do talk true crime here every day, so if that's something that you're into, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, as you guys are coming in, it does help send the video out to the algorithm. That way more people can come in and enjoy it with us. And I have like 1,500 tabs open, and then I was going to read a lot to you guys because I thought I had to read a lot of it out. And no one likes for me to be reading a lot of it out. But News Nation has gotten a couple videos out on the topic, so we'll probably watch those, and then I'll go over the documents as well. So we will be discussing the Idaho 4 case this evening, so hopefully you guys are caught up and you guys know what's going on. I'm sure you guys do. I think everybody on the planet kind of knows what's going on in that case as of right now. Let me see where I was at. So I was going to show you guys a couple things here. And thank you for telling me happy anniversary. I appreciate that. Let me share this, and then let me let me start my camera here. Let me remove this. If you could see my pretty flowers, he is listening. He came home with like 4 bouquets of flowers today. So he got me some really pretty flowers and an amazing card. We went to dinner, 7 years together. So we went to dinner at, I'm not sure if this is just local. Let me know if you guys have a place like this, but it's called Black Rock. It's a restaurant. Basically, when you go there, thanks, Alicia. Basically, when you go eat there, they bring out your food like it's a steak place. So, and they're always super busy. I've ate there one time for lunch, but Vincent's never ate there, and we were supposed to eat there together. So, whoops. But I didn't eat any like meat or anything. I didn't have like I didn't get the whole experience. So when you go there, you cook your own food pretty much. Basically, I think I took some pictures, but they bring out like a slab of meat on like a rock, and you just cook it at your table. I don't cook. So yeah. So it was fun. It was fun though. It was the experience. Do you know, like the experience was good, but I never cook. Like he always cooks, and like it was just funny. It was humorous. So I was gonna see if I could find a picture to show you guys. I'll just kind of like put it up to the camera, but maybe. But it like comes out like that. It was good. Like it comes out like on this big rock. I don't know. It's just crazy. And then you cook it yourself. So I don't cook, Teresa. No, I used to cook before my car accident. I really liked to cook. But then after my accident, when I was in a wheelchair, they told me no cooking, not even microwavable meals. They said, Tanya, if you end up going to grab it out of the microwave and it falls into your lap and you burn yourself, then what are we going to do with you? Basically you're going to be back here for the same reason. So I just broke my nail. Would you believe that? And I was going to go get it done tomorrow. That's just my luck. But yeah. Oh, thank you. So yeah, we had to go buy the vase separately. Thanks, Parker. My vases were all too small for all the flowers that he came home with. But I thought they were so sweet. And the card is so sweet. And we do this thing now. We just started this like the last few holidays where we one up each other in the card section, like whose card's better or who puts more words. Oh, that was what it was today. Who put more words on the card. So that's what we argue about, who put more words. He did. He won. But yeah, we had a good time. So thank you for asking about it and everything. I appreciate that. So before we get started with Idaho 4, I know that they're taking a trip to Moselle tomorrow. And before I forget to tell you about the rest of my cooking thing. So when I stopped cooking, so after my accident, I stopped cooking. And then after that, I just never restarted cooking. That's basically the end of it. My mom cooked a lot for me after my accident. And then I started dating Vincent, and Vincent just kind of started cooking. And he does it. And I I don't know. I would rather have like a temperature like a thermometer for my meat. If I could have that, I would probably be okay. But I just get really paranoid with like one eye. So being in a restaurant with like dim lights, trying to cook a steak, I was like, I don't know if this is done, but it was good. It was good. But if you have never been to a Black Rock, I don't know if it's like something that they have everywhere. Like, I mean, if they have them in other states, but if you have one near you, you should go. The experience is fun. I would probably give it 7 out of 10 though, just because I had to, cook my own food, and it came out raw, and I don't like looking at raw food. So I think that is, it was fun though. We had a lot of fun. So now to the not so fun stuff. So I don't know if you guys have heard. So we talked about it on the live probably a couple of days ago when we did one, but we were talking about how Bryan Kohberger has these groupies now. They have like these Facebook groups, Reddit groups, and like subreddits, devoted to Bryan Kohberger basically. One of the girls, even in I think it was the Facebook group, she actually sent Bryan Kohberger $50 for Valentine's Day and said, "This is for Bry. Hope he enjoys it," or something like along those lines. I don't know. It's sick to me. I can't wrap my head around it personally, but I guess one of the subreddits has been shut down. It had like a lot of people in it, so they're shutting them down, which I think is kind of funny. Do I do the dishes? Yes, I do. I do all the cleaning. Yeah, if it's cleaning, I'm your girl. If it's organizing, I'm your girl. I don't stop. That's my problem. But I just don't cook. Now I will cook a dessert. Now a dessert I can do. It must be a full moon. But yeah, okay, so and then I forgot to talk about Moselle. So I am going to do because I want to tell you guys about Alex Murdaugh. I wanted to tell you guys I'm going to do a live, I believe, in the morning and then one in the evening on Alex Murdaugh, because they're going to Moselle tomorrow. So I don't think they'll be in court if they're going to be out at Moselle. So I can play, because Nancy came out with a new podcast for tonight. So I wanted to play that for you guys. But I was like, oh my gosh, we got some stuff to talk about. So I'll do that probably tomorrow. It's crazy. It's like, oh, thank you, Margot. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm glad you became a member again. Or you were a member, but I think you just maybe renewed. I can see it on my iPad, but I can't see it on my computer. This thing's so strange to me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this video. I'm going to read a little bit here. It just is basically about the Reddit post or the Reddit group. It was called Bryan Nation. They shut down the the Reddit group. So they're no longer allowed to post on there about their love for Bryan Kohberger, which is good. I mean, I'm glad that someone has the power to do that. I guess maybe the mods or something for that group. I don't know how Reddit really works. I know I get on there and I look at stuff, but I don't really know how it works so much. So everybody needs some wine today. Yeah, so that's weird. Maybe it'll like renew, because it said that when I looked on there, Parker, it said that you rejoined 0 days ago. So maybe it needs to be like 1 day. I don't know. I was looking though. Yeah, because you guys were all members. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, so because I saw that right before I came on, Teresa, and I was like, wow. Hello, TF. How are you doing tonight? So, Roy said, no, that makes my stomach, it makes me sick to my stomach. Yeah, so I'm trying to think of why. I'm trying to think of a plausible, like, why. Maybe it's because they don't have to deal with them. I don't know. But it seems like our girl wants to deal with Bryan Kohberger. The one girl, Hislope. Can't remember her first name now for some reason. Brittany Hislope, so. Oh, I know. I need to put Eastern Standard on there. I've been trying to do that on the community post better. Because, like, I always forget, like, I don't think about other people's time, like, the time differences. So I have been trying to be a little bit better at that. So I'm going to go ahead and play this one for you. And then there's a New York Post that goes over the same thing. So I probably won't read that to you if they go over everything here. But it just basically, they're going to talk about what makes people fall in love with alleged killers. And then we'll be going into the, sorry, I can't even think of it. The search warrant that was released today from on Kohberger's, like it was on his parents' home, his personal property, I believe, like his person, and then his car. The list that we have available to us right now is the list that they have, that what they collected off of his person. And some of the stuff on the list is like, okay, that makes sense. And then a couple things on that list, it's like, what the hell? Why did you have that on you when you were getting arrested? Because, you know, you got to remember SWAT busted out all their windows in the house. So you better become a member, TF. Telling you what. I'll have to put it in there if anyone does want to become a member. I'll have to paste it in there. Because we are going to do another members only live soon. So I'll go ahead and play this if I can find out which tab we're in. There we go. I had so many things open for us tonight.
People will drive by.
Let me go ahead and rewind this. I hate this thing. Okay.
Tourism. It is a term that a lot of true crime fans absolutely hate, but a pastime that is actually gaining in popularity. Like everything, there are different meanings to the phrase. Some people visit the scenes of crimes to learn about police investigations and add to their own understanding of a case, while others seem to be more about getting likes on social media. And there's a lot of those. We've seen it firsthand in Moscow, Idaho. This new exclusive video shot over the weekend shows multiple people stopping at the King Road house for a photo. You see them there. It's one of the reasons the University of Idaho president says he plans to demolish the house. But it's not just the crime scene that these true crime fanatics are obsessed with. Some are also obsessed with the man who is accused of committing these four murders.
Could you guys see yourself like going up to someone's house and taking like a selfie, or better yet, like doing a full-blown TikTok dance? Am I old? Call me old, but I feel weird when I'm taking a picture and people are looking at me and I'm taking a picture. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm the weirdest, and I'm a creator and I'm a content creator, but you just would not see me anywhere, like out there just doing that. I don't know, like what's wrong with people. I hope so too, the buccal cheek swab, because they will cross match it. I was reading your stuff there. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. But yeah, why? I mean, like it's one thing to get on, you know, and have like a channel and create content and things like that. But it's another thing to like go out there and be doing a dance. Like what dance or what kind of picture do you like? Just, are you smiling? Like, I mean, are you? It's just so different. Like, I wouldn't say that I would never want to go buy the house or something, because curiosity did kill the cat. I mean, hello, you know, there are people that, and like, I'm one of those people that like to go see creepy things, you know, like, but I would never go somewhere like, and just be taking pictures and hanging out and just, you know, yeah, raised with a little more respect. Yeah. My mom and dad would beat me. And that's probably what I still have in my head to this day, which they've never hit me. I was never spanked, not a day in my life. Never was grounded either, but I guess I just knew better. You just knew. I'll go ahead and start playing this again.
Yep, this is very, very weird and can be hard to understand, but Bryan Kohberger actually has groupies, as sick as that sounds. Facebook pages with names like Justice for Bryan Kohberger. They've got thousands of followers. And just last week, a Reddit thread of Kohberger supporters called Bry Nation was banned from the site. Thank goodness. So what makes people so infatuated with alleged killers, and in some cases, convicted killers? I'm joined by the guy who understands all of this, Dr. Scott Bond. He is a criminologist and the author of the best-selling book, Why We Love Serial Killers, The Curious Appeal of the World's Most Savage Murderers. His podcast is called Killing Hour with Doc Bond. Thank you so much for being with us. Dr. Brown. So first of all, I think there's a distinction here. I've been outside a lot of crime scenes where people will drive by and maybe put the window down and take a picture, and they've seen it on the news. And then you've just got crime junkies, which I've got family members and friends that are into true crime, and that seems like one thing. But then you've got this other group that like falls in love with some of these serial killers. How does that happen?
Well, that's a great question. And you're right. It really is a spectrum. I mean, on the one hand, there's healthy curiosity, but then on the other hand, it can also become an obsession. And this is not a new phenomenon. In fact, there have been cases such as Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, back in the 1980s. He actually married one of his groupies. And of course, Charles Manson and Ted Bundy and others had legions of groupies. So, why does this happen? Well, I think there's a couple of things at work here. Technology is one of them, and you mentioned that. There are those individuals who I think are seeking their own 15 minutes of fame by injecting themselves into the investigation, into the case, and they become almost like demi-celebrities in their own right. You have other individuals that I would say are lacking something in self-esteem or an emotional deficit, where they feel that they can fill up this hole somehow inside of them by vicariously associating with these types of individuals. And that really gets to the groupie phenomenon. And with the female groupies, with the male perpetrators, I like to call that the bad boy syndrome. And what I mean by that is, he may be a bad boy, but he's my bad boy. I'm the only one who understands him. We're soulmates. I get him. No one else does. And so once again, that gives a person, the groupie, self-esteem, makes her very special, so that she becomes fulfilled. That's something that's missing in her. And these individuals, do become sort of demi-celebrities.
I remember the first time I saw this, Dr. Bond, was in Parkland with the Parkland massacre, that awful school shooting. And the suspect there, we requested through a public records request all of his mail, and he was getting all of this mail. And some of it was interesting. It was people sort of trying to understand his frame of mind, which I could sort of understand. But then there were these women like sending him sexual messages, almost like there was a very strange attraction to this killer. And I could never wrap my mind around it. But I guess this bad boy syndrome that you're talking about, but it's still, I think for most people sitting at home, it's just hard to really understand.
Well, again, I wouldn't necessarily say that these really extreme groupies are necessarily mentally ill, but I would say that there's something missing there, something that draws them to this, whether it's an emotional deficit, as I said, or something, a personality disorder, where they literally, I think, have a hole inside of them emotionally, and they're looking to fill it up by this vicarious association. And if you think about it, somebody like Ted Bundy is the ultimate fixer-upper. I've heard some of my female friends talk about they're attracted to fixer-uppers. Well, a serial killer or a convicted murderer is the ultimate fixer-upper. He's not going anywhere. You know where he is. And to the extent that you become his soulmate, then you are special by association. And
I think it has a lot to do with also these inmates are inmates, so they have nothing but time. So they can write love letters every day. They can, say all the things that women want to hear. They never want to get in an argument because, what are you going to argue about other than him being locked up or she being locked up, if it's, vice versa. Things like that. I think that they do it because they want money, really. I think that they don't really care about the visits as much. I think that they want some money on their books. So they'll string along any female or woman will string along any male in order to achieve that. Or whoever, But I wanted to point that out because I think that's why a lot of people do that. Yeah, he seems pretty emotionless, Pamela. I agree. I really do agree on that one because we've seen him in court. If that was me, I would be a mess. I'd be a mess. Even if they told me don't be a mess, I would be a mess. Let me check really quick. I'm making sure that there's nothing. Okay, I'm going to actually put this on, and then I'm going to actually put Banfield on for a minute because she's talking about it.
A large part of what's going on here.
Yeah, and I guess to an extent, like you said, with social media, they can hide behind their computer. They can almost get close to the danger, but it's not actually dangerous for them knowing that these men, you know, are likely in prison for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. They're not going anywhere. I don't have to worry about where he is. You know, I know his cell number, so he's not going anywhere. But what you just mentioned, Brian, is actually, I think, part of the appeal of true crime in general. It allows us to get close to the flame without getting actually burned. And with the groupies, they're taking it to an extreme. They're taking it to the point that they actually have a relationship, developing a relationship, even if it's only through the mail or on the telephone. But they're intimately involved with this individual. They're in their life, so they get that vicarious thrill that they're looking for, or the fulfillment that they're looking for.
I'm going to go ahead and put it on Banfield because she is talking about this, even though I just said I wasn't talking. We weren't watching Banfield because I know that Steve wanted to watch it. I had a feeling. So, and she's talking about the probable car, the search warrant and everything like that. So we'll put it on there and see what she has to say, and then we'll go over it if she doesn't cover it all.
So do we expect that we're going to find out tomorrow when hopefully they unseal tomorrow, everything from the residence, everything from the garage, and everything from his vehicle?
We think so. I mean, of course, there's no telling exactly what will happen, but based on the rules in Pennsylvania, they have 60 days to unseal the warrants. The warrant that was unsealed today hit the 60-day expiration date. The others will hit the expiration date tomorrow, officially from when they were signed off on. That's why we think tomorrow could be another big day in terms of getting some new information.
What was the significance of the time of day that they requested that this warrant be executed?
Okay, so this was interesting, and I read through the whole thing. Of course, that property list was the main thing, but there were some other nuggets buried in several pages there. They asked the judge to sign off on the warrant in the afternoon. So it was daytime in the afternoon. The judge signed off. What I picked up on was that they didn't actually go and serve the search warrant and bust into the house and arrest Kohberger until around 1 in the morning. Why did they wait all that time? We don't know for sure. It would make sense, though. I mean, he's wanted for these brutal murders, perhaps the element of surprise. You can see how dark out there in that neighborhood it was. Each house was on about 1 acre or 2 acres, kind of a rural area. Perhaps they wanted to wait until the middle of the night to sort of surprise him and hope that he didn't see them coming.
Okay, Brian Entin, I'm going to ask you to stand by for just a minute, but I'm going to come back to you shortly. I want to, at this point, bring in Judge Tanya Acker. She's the judge on the upcoming program Tribunal Justice on Amazon Freevee, and also the host of the podcast, The Tanya Acker Show. Okay, Judge, I'm so glad you're here because you know this business of warrants being executed, the timing of them, the sealing of them, the unsealing of them. Do you have any idea or any sort of thoughts as to why they would hold this sealed for the 60 days? Like, what benefit advantages it to the Pennsylvania folks to keep this under seal? They're not part of the gag order.
Well, I think that if you're prosecuting this case, Ashley, you want to control the narrative, you want to control the story, and that means to some extent controlling the dissemination of information. We're still in very early days when it comes to really setting out the narrative and telling the story of how these crimes happened, the blow by blow that the jury is eventually going to hear. So to the extent that one can limit the information that goes out into the public before the lawyer has the chance to kind of steer that information and put it into the context that they want, that's really part of the strategy, I think, and the theory behind, wanting to continue with a gag.
So I wanted to ask you sort of a small detail. I don't know if there's anything to be made of this or not, but in the list, and I'm going to ask the control room if they can throw that list up again of all the things that they seized that finally we discovered today when they unsealed the warrant. They listed, a flashlight and 4 medical gloves, and then all these things that looked like they were just things he was wearing: a white T-shirt, a black sweatshirt, a pair of socks, a pair of size 13 sneakers, black shorts, black boxers, and a buckle swab. Why? I'm trying to make some sense out of the flashlight and the 4 medical style gloves being lumped in with what looked like basically what was on Bryan's person.
I don't know why the warrant would be drafted in this way. But again, Ashley, it goes to the point that I just made. What the prosecution needs to do here is to tell the story. And so you tell a story about a defendant, a murderer, who has a flashlight. He kills folks with gloves. He's wearing all black. Remember, the roommate of one of the victims recalled that she'd seen someone in the early hours of the morning of the murders wearing all black. So connecting that black-clad murderer to this defendant is an important part of the prosecution's story. So it really is about buttoning up all these little details so that when you're standing in front of the jury, you can give them specific points, specific facts, little things that tie this defendant to the crime. And that's what they're trying to do here.
Let me ask you about the size 13 sneakers. I sort of like that. I seized on that right away. And I thought, look, I don't know a lot about men's shoes, but I asked my husband, you're about a size 10 and a half. Isn't that kind of normal? It turns out that size 10 and a half is standard, sort of the most average shoe size across America. And then I asked one of our staff members to do some research. And in 2014, a study showed that size 12, 13 represent only 10% of shoe sales for men across the country. To me, that sounds like a really good piece of evidence, because there is that latent shoe print found in blood in the victim's home. So put those pieces together for me and tell me why that might be super critical.
Well, again, look, you're standing in front of the jury if you're the prosecutor, and you're going to say, look at this bloody footprint in the home, which is also matches the defendant's shoe size, which is not, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, a very common shoe size in the United States. Again, it's about trying to connect the dots and giving the jury compelling bits of specific information that tie this defendant to the crime. That is one such specific piece of information.
Yeah. And, it's like whenever people say, just a circumstantial case, I want to slug them, because all cases that I cover are pretty much circumstantial. You rarely get a witness to, a murder. I mean, you get them, but not that often. So most cases that we deal with in American jurisprudence, it oftentimes is circumstantial, and it can be extraordinarily strong, sometimes better than a eyewitness was Mr. Magoo. So in that respect, if you have so many of these pieces, it just becomes less and less reasonable to assume that it's not the guy. Maybe 1 or 2, you could say that's unreasonable to leap to the conclusion, but like 10 or 15, it gets to the unreasonable. All right, last question real quickly, and that's about this gag order in Idaho. I've just been ranting away at the amount of secrecy in the Idaho courts. And I'm not just talking about the Idaho, the Moscow, Idaho murders. I'm talking about Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. They just seem to do this like it's Tuesday. I mean, it's just standard op. And I have been under the impression that that's not the way we operate, that it should be a last resort to put things under gag. Are you seeing that this is increasingly the way courts are operating everywhere? Is this Idaho unique? What's your read?
I don't know, Ashley, that I have a specific read, but what I will say is that there is a lot of concern amongst decision makers, and not just decision makers, but legal players, about the effect of pretrial publicity, pretrial talking, social media posts. People, you've got to still go and get your jury, and you want a jury that has been as untainted as possible. Now, I hear the concern, and I think you raise a really good point, that the public has an interest in knowing how our judicial system works and in knowing that, how the process is moving forward. But I do think that And again, I don't have any specific comment on whether or not this is becoming more or less common, but I do think that many people now who are participants and players in the system are just worried about being able to control the narrative, because information gets out there so quickly and it can be spun so quickly by either side, or frankly, somebody who perhaps doesn't even have a direct interest in the case, that there is a concern about getting the reins on that.
Still makes me crazy. Judge Tanya Acker, thank you so much. Good to have you.
Nice to see you, Ashley.
And you too, as always. So coming up, if you've been following the bizarre twists and turns in the Alex Murdaugh trial, you've been hearing a lot about the murder scene, the hunting ranch on Moselle Road, and the jury has been hearing it nonstop for more than 5 weeks. They've seen 3D renderings, they've seen drone footage.
Okay, maybe we'll come back to that if she does any more. If she does any more on this case. I don't know why I'm texting Vincent when he could probably hear me. Wow. I was trying to find the shoe print, but I couldn't find it in time before they were done. I can't remember if they put on there. But yeah, I have a couple questions about this whole thing. So why the heck was he wearing shoes when he was arrested? Because I'm going to tell you right now, when the police come in your home to arrest you, like they did Bryan Kohberger, they blew out the freaking windows, the door. They came in, guns a-blazing. They wanted to catch him in the element of surprise. That way he couldn't, maybe grab a knife or a gun and fight back. When they arrest you, they literally pick you up. I've seen shows, and I mean, First 48 or whatever, and they will drag these guys out in their underwear or naked and put a sheet around them. They don't give them shoes to wear. They don't care, bro. They say, nope, sorry, bud. You don't get your shoes. So for him to have shoes on, 4 latex or 4 gloves, and he was wearing a lot of clothes. Was he ready to run or something? I mean, a white Arizona Jean Company large t-shirt, Champion Washington State University Cougars large black sweatshirt, pair of black and white size 13 Nike shoes, pair of black Under Armour socks, Under Armour black large shorts, Under Armour black boxer large, and then 1 buccal swab. Did the officers take the buccal swab while they were there, and they're putting that in because they took it off of his person? Because this is under his, when you read through the paperwork, and I'll show you the paperwork too. Let me get to that part. Let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, I'll share this with you really quick. So so right here, this is where they are search warrant for the house, 119 Lambsden Drive. And it says, name of owner, occupant, Michael Kohberger, Marianne Kohberger, and Bryan Kohberger. And it just has the violation of criminal homicide. And then down here is where it tells you exactly what was taken off of his person. It says receipt for property, collected/seized. And so this wasn't from his house. This was from his person. And then that's where we found the 4, this is where we get, the 1 Defiant silver flashlight. And I looked those up, and I'm not sure if it looks like this one or if it's a different model. So I'm not sure, but that's the model that I saw when I pulled it up. I know that they have a regular model though that looks more of a small, just a regular small flashlight. Almost like one of those mag lights, but they're just smaller. So that's kind of what it looks like. I'm assuming that's Defiant silver flashlight when I looked it up, and it popped right up on Google. So they just took clothing from him pretty much. But he did have a lot. It just has some random stuff. I don't understand. So do you remember Was it like, I'm wondering if it was the evening that he got arrested. I can't remember. This is something I just can't remember. Was it the evening that he got arrested or the evening before he got arrested that he was taking the trash out of his parents' house? And he was putting it in the neighbor's trash. Because if it was the same night, then I can see him having all of this stuff on him, because maybe he was using the gloves to take out the trash, the flashlight to take out the trash. Because I know that Bryan was arrested between the hours of 4:02 and 6:22 a.m. on December 30th. And he was seen taking the trash out. Was it the night before he got arrested? That evening, but late? Okay, so that would have been about the same time then. So they said it was like 4 a.m. when he took the trash out to the neighbor's yard, I think, or to the, over to the neighbor's house. So, a playback of air traffic data shows the plane's path circling Bryan Kohberger's parents' home was from 4:02 to 6:22 a.m. on December 30th. So those are the times that they're given, like that window is when he was arrested. So maybe that's why he had all of that stuff on him. I don't know. I'll have to figure that part out. I want to see the video, of his arrest too. That would be beautiful if we could get a hold of that. And then it just says it was received. And then here it just says that the search warrant was for the person. So this is of his person. And then, so this is what they could search and seize on him. It says, let me see, make sure I can, it's kind of hard to read, but that's okay. Any and all the following which may be found on his person: blood or other bodily fluids or materials, and items with blood or other bodily fluids or materials on or near them. Knives, sheaths, other weapons or instrumentals of injury or death, and sales receipts or documentation from purchase or acquisition of such items. They can look for documents, records, medications, drugs, or other substances prescribed or otherwise, bottles, labels, syringes, packaging, just like drug paraphernalia. Any property belonging to Ethan, Kaylee, Xana, or Maddie, Bethany, or Dylan. Documents, record data compilation related to the King Road, Moscow home, or Kaylee, or Ethan, or Maddie, or Xana. Also Bethany or Dylan. Clothing to include but not limited to dark shirts or pants, masks, shoes with a diamond print sole. DNA footprints, fingerprints, fibers, animals, or human hair, or other physical or trace evidence or items bearing these relating to or containing information indicating, suggesting, or related to violence, a fight, or motive / hostility for any of the same. 4 samples. Okay, so here we go. Maybe this is what it was. Maybe this is what they took. 4 samples of Bryan Kohberger's I don't know how to pronounce that. That's the DNA. So 4 samples of Bryan Kohberger's DNA by buccal swabs was taken from the inside of Bryan Kohberger's mouth and or whole blood samples. So it looks like it was the buccal swab. Alcoholic beverages, other intoxicants, and other containers or receipts for the same. Data compilation relating to or containing information indicating, suggesting, or related to violent stabbing, a fight, or motive. All electronic devices, including text messages, applications on the cloud storage, notes or voicemails, including attachments, source and destination's address, time and date information. So they want to know everything that's on his phone pretty much. That's like all of this stuff right here. Wi-Fi networks, Bluetooth devices, associated connected devices. And that's weird. I mean, they put these in here for a reason. So for them to put device like Wi-Fi networks or Bluetooth devices, I don't know. And then says indication of residency in or ownership or possession of the vehicle and any of the above items. So maybe this was for his vehicle. Items to be searched and seized. And this says the person. So it says that this is for him, for his person. And then I think this is for their house and then the small shed outside. Yeah, he was arrested, December 30th. I was just wondering what time exactly. They just have a time frame from when the planes were riding around. Yeah, the bag of trash has not been mentioned. I think that they just probably have that. They probably took that under the house search. And then this one is pretty much the same, but it's for his home, I believe. Yeah, for the home. And it's pretty much listing the same things, stuff that's related to, the murder victims, any property belonging to them, any records or computers that have, documentation of them on them, any knife sheaths or weapons, any bloods or bodily, materials that are like out in the open that they can see. They can collect that. DNA footprints, fibers, animal hairs, 4 samples of DNA. And then this is all vehicles and Kohberger has access to, but not limited to, a white 2015 Honda Elantra with the VIN number. And I think that's all of it. Here, I'll read this too, I think. Oh, shoot. I didn't realize I had my speaker on my phone, and I just literally just wrote all that out. So sorry, let me fix this really quick. Oh, wow. Okay, we'll figure that out later. I'm like, oops. I'll just send it to him. Do you ever do that? Like I use my microphone on my phone sometimes, and I accidentally just left it on, and it just literally just typed out everything I was just reading. So I was going to say that, Steve Irwin. I was going to say the average is, I thought, about 11 or 12. I was going to say 12. I was just wondering, most people have size 13 then, I thought. See, I thought that the size 13 was pretty common, but I guess not. But I thought I thought it'd be a little bit more down than that. Yeah, that's what I heard, Catherine. So they said that's what they were saying, something about on News Nation, that they might have the home and the car. Maybe they'll be bringing that stuff out tomorrow. And then on here, I think it was just showing that. I can read this to you, but let's see. It just says that it's up here. It just says that this is Justin Leary of the Pennsylvania State Police. And it goes through and it just says, what he's done in his time. And then it says the trooper Brian Knoll, Pennsylvania State Police trooper. And it just gives his background. But this is the most important part, I guess, is just right here. Sorry that and this is I tried to find this document in 15 different ways for you guys because it was so hard to read. So I can always try to put it up on the community tab too. They only let you do, I think, 5 images at a time. So I can do it maybe over on Twitter if it'll let me. Okay. I don't know if it'll let me on there either. But on Wednesday, December 28th, 2022, the Pennsylvania State Police was requested to assist the Moscow Police Department in Moscow, Idaho, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations with a homicide investigation, which occurred on Sunday, November 13th, 2022. As a part of this investigation, we reviewed reports and affidavits prepared by the Moscow Police Department establishing probable cause for issuance of search warrants related to the investigation, which are included in the affidavit of probable cause as Exhibit A. Furthermore, investigators believe physical surveillance of the property and area of, and this is his parents' home, in the early morning hours of Tuesday, December 27th, 2022, observed Bryan Kohberger walking near this residence. Additionally, Kohberger's vehicle was observed entering the Indian Mountain Lakes development on December 16th, 2022, and the vehicle is still believed to be on premises. Investigators are also monitoring Kohberger's cellular phone, which appears to be in the same vicinity of this residence. On Wednesday, December 28th, 2022, while conducting surveillance, investigators observed Kohberger traveling throughout Monroe County and arriving back at his residence on Lambsden Drive. So they were really watching him. They were definitely watching him. Based upon this, your affiants believe that Kohberger is located inside this residence and is in possession of items related to this investigation. Your affiants are requesting a search warrant be issued for the search and seizure of all items listed in the items to be searched, along with forensic processing of all items. Your affiants are requesting all digital devices seized be forensically examined in a controlled environment at some future date and until such examinations are complete. Additionally, based upon the serious and violent nature of these crimes, including risk of general public safety, your affiants are requesting a nighttime search warrant be issued to execute this search warrant at any time in the affiant of probable cause to be sealed. So they wanted to be able to take him in the night, which makes sense. Oh yeah, Anita, there's so much more that we haven't seen. They just needed a little bit to get him. Yeah. They just, and the probable cause, they just put enough in there to get their warrant. If they need to put more in there, they will, but I don't think that they needed to. And then there was another video I wanted to show you. Also, if you guys are just now joining us, if you don't mind, click the like on the video. I do really appreciate it. If you guys wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel, if you do like the content, we do go live every day talking about true crime cases, different cases. And I do have a video coming out. I did today. So it'll probably come out tomorrow it's a timeline video of Lori Daybell Vallow Daybell. If you guys want to, watch that video, if it's something that you enjoy, make sure you comment below and I will stream the court when it starts. Well, it's already starting. So we can always stream that for you guys to watch as well. And then at night I can do like recaps or something. So. And then this was the last video. Well, one of the last ones I wanted to show you. Oops, sorry.
On a story News Nation.
Didn't mean to like blast your guys' ear like that. But this came out a little bit before the live. Oh, you're welcome, Brooke. Have a good night. Have a good sleep.
Brand new details on a story News Nation has been on since the very beginning. Today, we are learning what police found when they arrested Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger. We were there on the ground when that search happened months ago. Brian Enton was the first on the ground in Pennsylvania near Kohberger's parents' home. Well, today, authorities unsealed the search warrant from that arrest. Let's bring in senior national correspondent Brian Enton. Brian, I know you've had a chance to pore over this document. What on this list caught your eye?
Yeah, Nicole. So we got a tip a few days ago that this would be unsealed soon. Didn't exactly know that it would happen today while we were here covering the Murdaugh trial, but very interesting that it was unsealed. Basically, this is the search warrant from when police arrested Bryan Kohberger. You remember he was at his parents' home in Pennsylvania when the arrest went down. And in the search warrant, there is a list of the items that they found on his body. And they include shoes, socks, medical-style gloves, which is something that really stood out to me, a jacket, size 13 shoes, and then swabs, which we assume are swabs that were used to take his DNA. You also see there socks, shorts, boxers, basically everything that he was wearing was seized as part of that search warrant when the arrest happened. But what's interesting, Nicole, is we know that they also searched the parents' house in Pennsylvania. You'll remember when I showed up there, we could actually see that the glass was broken from when the police had busted inside. They did not reveal the list of what they took from the home in that unsealed warrant. So whether they got a cell phone or computer or anything like that, we still don't know at this point, Nicole.
And we know, Brian, there are supposed to be, or potentially could be, more documents unsealed, right?
Yeah, that's the word. And again, there's missing information from what was released today, because in the search warrant, it clearly says that not only did they search Bryan Kohberger's body and get those items that I just read off, like his clothing, but that they also went into the parents' house. But the property list of what was removed from the parents' house has yet to be released. So perhaps that is what is still coming. We're just going to have to wait to find out.
Well, Brian, before we let you go, where does the case stand right now? And where does what was revealed in this new document and the more that may be coming impact the case?
Yeah, and there's something actually interesting I just remembered that I forgot to tell you, Nicole, about what was in the document. It also talked about the surveillance that was done on Kohberger in detail. This new document that was released today basically said that they had been following him and monitoring him coming and going from his parents' house in Pennsylvania, and also that they were tracking his cell phone at that point. So that is new information that was in the document. And it's interesting we're able to get this stuff from Pennsylvania because there's no gag order in Pennsylvania. Remember, in Idaho, there's the gag order, which is why we're not going to get much more information from Idaho until the preliminary hearing sometime in June, Nicole.
Sometime in June. All right. Brian Entin reporting in South Carolina on the Murdaugh case, but switching gears and giving this update on the Kohberger case tonight. Thank you for that, Brian.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider.
I'm going to share this one with you too, because this like goes off of the heels of that one. She actually had a little interview with Jennifer Coffendorfer. I don't even know when this happened because I didn't see it on TV, but I just saw it on Twitter. So I'll just play this for you really quick.
I know you poured over all of the details on this. To most people, it doesn't really seem like there's much to take away from this particular document. Are there maybe some hidden nuggets in there or overlooked details maybe that you noticed?
Well, there's a few nuggets in here. Remember, I believe this only pertains to the items of Bryan C. Kohberger. So we're going to see a lot more in terms of that warrant on his car and then possibly other information related to the house. So this was really just the clothing, I believe, that was in and around and on him. But there was also a flashlight. Now, many people have flashlights, but it is kind of interesting that he would have a flashlight on him. In addition were 2 pairs of surgical gloves. So that would lead one to believe, why? Why would you have surgical gloves? Were you involved in some sort of cleanup?
I know you poured over all of the.
She was just going to repeat herself. But I was trying to find where it says in the PCA the size of his shoe, and I can't find it. Off of the, when I'm like trying to hurry, So if anyone does know and they know what page it's on, just let me know. And then if you don't let me know, if you don't have it tonight, just let me know. I thought you said, Teresa, size 11 a minute ago. That's why I'm confused. I just need to know which page it's on. Because I know that they found a shoe print, but I didn't know that they put the size of it. Hold on, it's right here. They didn't put a size on it. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators found a latent shoe print. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene by the ISP forensic team by first using a presumptive blood test and then AminoBlack, a protein stain that detects the presence of cellular material. The detective's shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern, similar pattern to a Vans-type shoe sole, just outside the door of DM's bedroom, located on the second floor. This is consistent with DM's statement regarding the suspect path of travel. It never says a shoe size, so there's no shoe size on there. So yeah, it was just a shoe pattern that was found, and it was like a Vans type of shoe pattern, and they do have a database that they can put their shoe patterns in, and it'll tell you the exact shoe and like brands and what it is, which I think is pretty amazing to me, because I just think that's amazing that they have a database for that. But so it is a common shoe. Yeah, it's very, very common, especially in that age group. I think it's really common in any age group, but it's really, really common in that age group of people. I mean, we even seen, I think it was maybe Dylan opened the door and during like the body cam, I think, and she, certain, yeah, like, so these ones are Vans, and I think that, I don't know what style, like if they, I'm sure that they have different styles and their names are different, but they're all kind of the same style. The colors are different, things like that. Sometimes they like lace up, sometimes they are slip-ons, but I don't know. Oh, definitely. Definitely. From there was so like there was, I think they even showed like one of the other guys, I think it was like, maybe it was Hunter. I can't remember if that was him or not on the other body cam, but it was another guy, one of the other guys. But he had them on because I mean, they are a very common shoe. It's more, I feel like it's like the new Chucks, like, you know, for younger generations. Cause I wear Chuck Taylor still, I think. I mean, I still think I wear them. Yeah. In the summer. I feel like it's never going to be summer. Yeah, I know. Them Jay-Z Adidas shoes these days. Oh, was that who took them from Kanye? I'm like, that's who used to work for them. But some of them shoes are just ugly. They are just bad. But yeah, I think that was all I really had. Let me see. Because tomorrow I want to go over Alec. Oh, I do have. Okay, so I guess I can admit when I'm wrong, which I didn't really say anything, but I was kind of wrong. So do you remember Justin that came out the other day, like a couple weeks ago, saying that he had like all this information? He worked for the FBI, then he worked for the defense, and then he was an investigator, and then he was this, and he was that, and then he's the other. Well, I have a, I don't know where I found this. I think it was on Reddit or Twitter, but somebody found this, and I guess he is the first openly transgender person to enlist in the military. So this is the same person from Chicago. I'm not going to read through all this, but I'm just going to let you know. There, right there. If you remember Justin, that's him in the military. So one thing he said was right, but then I think everything after that was just a bunch of bull crap. I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah, he did get hurt in the military. So someone had this on their thing, I think it was their Twitter. So I wanted to show you guys that. But I just thought I was like, okay. So, but he hasn't come out with anything else. And I am going to send we did a community post for Kaylee's sister, Olivia, had her little baby girl, Theodora. So Maddie K is her middle name. So a lot of people were like congratulating her on the community post. And I thought that was just really sweet. So I took some screenshots today, and then I'll make sure I take some more before I send them over in the morning if anyone wants to comment on the post. But I'm going to send them over to Mr. Gonzalez. That way he can give them to Olivia if she wants to see, you know, the congratulations, just the warmness, because there is warmness on the internet still. You know, there's people with good hearts. So also Chucks are like Chuck Taylors. They're like a tennis shoe. You know what they are? They're like a Converse. Converse is what they're called. Like Converse tennis shoes. Yeah, I like Chucks. I just don't like the back of them. They hurt my feet. But they are nice if you get those like things that could tape in. They're very nice. So I think that's really all I had for you guys tonight. Let me see if I have anything else on here. That guy's out there smoking. Sir, it is almost 11 o'clock, sir. Hey, dude, throw the thing around here. Steve McKay. Oh, look, there we got some people in. But yeah, so I'm going to, so tomorrow they're not probably going to have court in the morning, I would assume, since they're going to go take their field trip. Maybe court will, like, come after in the afternoon. But I was going to stream the Nancy Grace podcast so we can get caught up. I think anyway. I mean, I don't know. You had snow? Oh no, Pamela. I would have moved. I'm wearing a dress right now, actually. I wore a dress, but it was kind of chilly tonight. I wish I would have had tights. Yeah, Bill, you have to catch up. It was a pretty good live. I'm going to make probably a couple of short videos on this. And I did, like I said, I made a Lori Daybell timeline video today, just to get it out there. And then I can always go back and we can, put more stuff in there. But I wanted to get just the basic kind of timeline. It's not basic though. It's never basic in her case, is it? So are they going to go ahead and still do closing arguments and everything? So the lawyers aren't going to be out there at the property. It's just going to be the jury, the judge, and court reporters. Yeah, I think that Xana did wear those a lot. I think you're right. They're cute shoes, but they're probably not uncomfortable. I got 2 pairs of freaking Toms, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get these Toms because I thought they were like super cute and they were super real good price. Don't ever buy Toms. If someone gives you a pair of Toms, donate them. That's why they donate a pair every time they sell a pair, because they're junk. I mean, I love that they donate, but these shoes were the worst things were ever on my feet. My feet, like the back of my legs were bleeding within like minutes. So I don't ever recommend those. And I'm your girl for shoes. So it's going to start 11 their time. Oh, okay. Tom's made my feet stink. I wear Birkenstocks all the time, so I'm sure my feet probably stink. But I'm getting some new ones because I said I needed to. I was like, these are like 4 years old. It's been too long. But I love them. The judge ordered everything. He's running in court tomorrow. Of course he did, Teresa. He said he's done. He said he's done. He is. He's done. He's ready to wrap this show up. He's him having to deal with Dick this whole time. I feel so bad for him. That made me laugh. See, I've never got into Hey Dudes. And I think, I don't know. I think it's because when they first came out, I was working in a boutique at the time. So I never wore tennis shoes. I didn't believe in that life. I believed in killing my feet all the time. And so they became really popular then. And then I never got into those. But I need some new shoes like Fierce. I always say that. I have enough shoes. Oh, Bob's, I haven't had those. But the Toms were terrible. Like they really hurt the back of my feet. So if you ever buy a pair, just make sure you put something on the back of your foot, like in the back. Oh man, those were, ooh. Because I like to try new shoes. I have like really high arches, and my doctor told me to stick with Birkenstocks. And I'm like, well, what about in the winter? And they give me orthotics to wear, but you have to put them in tennis shoes, and I'm not down for that. So. Yeah, they both sleep good tonight. Yeah. So he said trip, closing, and jury deliberation. Wow. Too many pairs of Hey Dudes count. I think once you get a pair, you just start getting a lot of those shoes. I've heard that. Man, that poor judge. He's probably ready for a good night's sleep. There's a pair of Nike shoes I really want. They're like white and tan. Right, I know. Oh my gosh, when it comes to purses, y'all, it's bad. When I got my MacBook, I couldn't find the right purse to put it in, and it wasn't the purses, it was the MacBook is heavy. So I got so many different bags. Like I've gotten Steve Madden bags. I've gotten Coach bags, 2 of those. It's insane the amount of purses. I got this really cute one from Target. It was like super big. I was like, this is going to be it for me. I got this. Wasn't it? Got another one from like Elder Beerman or one of those Macy's. Elder Beerman's not even here. Macy's, and like that one didn't work. So I am a bad girl too. Well, hopefully tomorrow they will get that wrapped up. I wish that we could go to Moselle. Wish that like the judge, not the judge, but like somebody could just wear like, just one person could be in charge of one camera. Why so many purses? Because they were hurting my shoulder. So then I got like a cross bag, and then I got a convertible one that you can do like this way, or you can do it as a book bag, or you can hold it. And I realized it wasn't the purse, it was the person. And like my MacBook is just so heavy because it's metal. It's not like light. So I just have to deal with that. But it is heavy. But I got the cutest men's bag from Coach. It's like a men's sling bag. And it's really cute. I got it for my birthday. And then I got a black one for Christmas because we were going to a party. I said, I need a new purse. But it's so bad. That's so bad. I never really buy any. Haven't really bought myself anything though lately. I've been doing really good. Been doing so good. I've had this dress since Christmas. Finally wore it. I'll have to put some pictures up of me and Vincent on like the members tab or something. So I don't put him out on the internet too much. Get him all, shell shocked. But we took some pictures tonight so we would look cute. But I am going to jump off of here. Tomorrow is going to be here before we know it. We're almost done with Alec Murdaugh's trial. I'm nervous, but I'm ready for a verdict. This better not be a hung jury, because I know that judge is going to say, I'm not doing this again. Oh yeah, he's going to have all kinds of good shoes. In jail, some orange ones. Maybe some blue ones. Some blue slips. I carry everything I own in my purse too. Like, I mean, it's bad. It's like, I'll have stupid shit in there. Like, what do I put in there? Like, I'll put like a circle light or something. Like, really, like a circle light or something. I don't even know. Like, like the little ones that go on your phone or any, like, I don't know. I just have the most random stuff. I could never be one of those people that have like the little tiny micro bags. Those things, I like to kick them all off the planet. Oh, for your beach dinner dresses, I bet you those are cute. I'm like, I want to be on the beach. Yeah, I don't know. I think Alex is going down, yeah. I just don't want anything to not, I just don't want that. I don't want one juror to be like, oh, I forgot everything that we learned over the last 30 days, So I am going to jump off here. If you haven't liked the video yet and you've made it this far, don't forget to like the video. If you're watching this on a replay, #replay, let me know your comments, your thoughts below. I'd love to know them. I do read all the comments, all of them. So don't leave me any hateful ones. But if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, I do have a Twitter at @Titanium_built, and my TikTok is @TitaniumBuilt. And I just put some new TikToks out and some new stuff on Twitter. So I will see you guys all tomorrow. You have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.